As we know, we have seen that in last class, the size of the atom will represent with the radius, so which is only called as atomic radius. Is it yes or no? So if we take any kind of atom, the atom radius is only size of the atom, which we used to measure in nanometers. So we know 1 nanometer is equals to how many meters, guys? 10 power minus 9 meters. So that much small is the atoms. Or we know 1 meter is equals to how many nanometers? Sorry, 1 meter is equals to 10 power 9 nanometers. So now if we take like hydrogen atom, what is the size of the hydrogen atom? 10 power minus 10 nanometers approximately. Is it yes or no, guys? Yes or no? It is just we are saying. Is a 10 power minus 10 nanometers or meters? I forgot. 10 power minus 9 nanometers or meters? Yes?
Meters, sir.
Meters. That is what you have to remember. So, if we take hydrogen atom, as we know, the first well-known element for us is hydrogen. So, the size of the hydrogen atom is how much? 10 power minus 10. So, as we know, Dalton said, is it all the atoms having same size or different size? Atoms of elements, same size or different size?
Different size.
Different size. So if we take hydrogen atom, 10 power minus 10. If we take water molecule, what is the size of the water molecule? Water molecule, H2O. It is 10 power minus 9 meters. Like this, every atoms, every molecules, they'll be having different size. Suppose if we take our ant, do you know ant? Ant size is 10 power minus 3 meters. If we'll take your apple size is 10 power minus 1 meters. So like this, you can see everything we will be having, like imagine the atoms are how much small it is, how we need to see them. So is it possible to see them atoms with the naked eye? Anybody? Is it possible to see the atoms with the naked eye? Naked eye means normal. Is it yes?
No, sir.
No. So you can use a stem or SEM so to see the structure of an atoms, how these atoms are arranging. So that is what we are using a STEM called as scanning tunneling microscope. What is the STEM name called as? Scanning tunneling microscope. So with the help of these microscopes, if you have been observed the surface of an atoms, for example, even in your textbook, they have given a figure number 3.2, an image of the surface of silicon. All of you see that. So how the atoms are arranging, you might be notice it. Have you noticed it, guys? Yes, please. So this is the surface of the silicon atoms. If you have seen with the STEM, scanning tunneling microscope, this is the structure of silicon. It will be appears how the atoms are arranged, like in the silicon element. So it is not possible, as is they are extremely small in size. We cannot see with the naked eye. So that is why we have to use the powerful microscopes like a STEM. What do you mean by STEM, guys? Everybody? STEM means what? Scanning tunneling microscope. All of, if you want, you can write. Now I will show you the exact STEM picture. So this is what the STEM picture. Everybody observe. So this is the STEM picture of a solid substance called gallium arsenide. Do you understand it? What is the structure called as, everybody? Gallium arsenide. Everyone, if you want, you can write. So it is the STEM structure of gallium arsenide. So if you have taken this gallium arsenide, you might be notice the structure, how it will be arranging. So now if you'll see here, it is made up of two kinds of atoms. Anybody can tell me gallium arsenide means what is the atoms present, Hari, Metakshri? One is gallium atoms, another one is what? Atoms present here. One is gallium atoms. So next one is arsenide atoms. Okay, arsenic atoms, basically arsenide. ARSENIC. ARSENIC, arsenic atoms. So So that is what gallium arsenide we will say. So now, this is the stem structure of gallium arsenide, which is made up of two kinds of atoms. One is gallium atoms, another one is what atoms, guys? What atoms? Arsenic atoms.
Arsenic.
So now if you notice it here, the blurred spheres in these pictures, if you notice, they are actually the atoms. Now the gallium atoms are shown in the blue color and arsenic atoms are shown in the red color. Okay, everybody. So it is only for our representation. It is not the actual color. Not the actual color. That is also very important. So actual color. So to see the color, what is the color, everybody? This identifying the different atoms. One atom, what is the blue color atoms, everybody? What is the blue color atom? Blue color atom is gallium atoms and this red color is arsenic atoms. So this is a molecule formed by gallium arsenide, which is a combination of two atoms, gallium and arsenic. So you can see here how the atoms are arranged one by one. That is what it is seen with a powerful microscope called as STEM, STM. What is the full form of STEM, Mithakshri? Scanning tunneling microscope. Please remember that. Scanning tunneling microscope. Is it okay, everybody? Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now, if you have been understand this, then if it comes to the symbols, so as we know, by the time of Dalton, around we know 30 to 50 elements discovered by the time. So to remember these elements, Mr. John Dalton has been designed some symbols. So that symbols only we used to call it as Dalton's symbols of elements, which is actually like only will for history, to remember the history, we will study this one. So that is the first who has been first given the symbols of the elements, Mr. John Dalton. So that is why it is called as Dalton's symbols of elements. Write it, everybody. Dalton's symbols of the elements. Dalton's symbols of the element. So who has been first given the symbols, everybody? Mr. John Dalton. He is the first scientist who used symbols to represent the elements. That is why the symbols called as Dalton's symbol of the elements. So now these symbols used by Mr. John Dalton represent the element as well as one atom of the element. So the Dalton symbols will represent what, guys? A symbol will represent what? Symbol represent element and as well as what, Mithakshri? And one atom of element. That is what you have to remember, all of you. Are you clear, everyone? Yes, please. The Dalton symbol will represent the element as well as one atom of the element. That is what you have to remember. Now, by the time the number of elements is very less, so that is why some of the symbols of elements which is given by Mr. John Dalton, if you have noticed it, it is there in our NCERT book also. Always he will represent in the form of circle only. So circle and some changes. Now if you have taken a one circle, you can see, and middle if will make a center. That is a symbol of what, guys? First element, known element. What is that element name called as? Yes, please.
Hydrogen.
Hydrogen. And if will shade completely, what is the name of that? Carbon. Carbon element and carbon atom. If will make just a whole, one circle, what is that called as? Oxygen. If will make odd or symbol, phosphorus. Sulfur, just plus symbol. Platinum, P only. So like this, by the time the known elements is very, very less, so that he has been made easily certain kind of changes and everything he has been represented. Now, this every symbol is representing, it is representing element and as well as what is also representing with Akshray? Harini, it is also representing what?
Atom of an element.
Atom of an element. That is also you have to remember. Now, you no need to learn these symbols and all. Understand, as it is not necessary, because it is only we are studying for history, remembering the history. And remember, it is not at all used in nowadays. Why we are not using this one? Only historical purpose only we are studying. What is the reason behind? Anybody can tell? We are studying this one only for historical importance. No other things we are using. So nowadays it is difficult to draw because it is very inconvenient to draw and as well as to remember. Is it right or wrong? Is it easy to remember? Suppose if I are given for 118 elements, is it easy to remember? Anybody? Yes, please. All of you?
No.
No. So that is why it is inconvenient. There is a limitation, guys. Limitation or drawback, all same. All of you remember. Limitations or drawbacks. Okay? Or disadvantages. Everything is same. So what is the limitation? Inconvenience. Inconvenient to use and difficult to remember. Is it easy or difficult? Difficult to remember. Okay, everybody. So that is the reason we are not having any importance of this Dalton symbol of elements. So we are just making it as a historical purpose only. Now, let us go back to the new symbols. That is what modern symbols of the elements which we are studying at present days. So that is the one which we are studying for remembering all the elements very easily. So now the symbols used by Dalton, as it is very difficult to remember, inconvenient to represent, so that system could not be gained popularity. Means people are not accepted it. That is why a new system of representation, which is given by Mr. Swedish chemist called as John Jacob Berzelius. What's his name? John Jacob Berzelius. He is the scientist who has been given the modern symbols of elements which will be symbolized by using one or two letters from the names of the elements. So that is only called as modern symbols of the elements. All of you keep reading. Modern symbols of the element. Okay. So who has been given modern symbols? Everybody? Who has been given modern symbols? John Jacob Berzelius. Okay. Now, these symbols, remember, we will use either one letter or two letters. Two letters of the element which is easy to remember. So that is what you have to remember it. And this idea is adopted in modern systems of representation of symbols. That is why different elements have been named different ways. That is what you have to remember that. Okay, everybody. So we are using one or two letters from the name of the element. Is it okay, everybody? Clear? So that is what you have to remember. Either one letter we can use or two letters we can use, but we have to follow the rules for writing the symbols also. That is also I will teach you. So modern symbols of the elements, who has been given, guys? A scientist name called as John Jacob Berzelius. Now, nowadays the symbols and names is accepted by none of us can choose. For example, in future, somebody of you discovered or invented the new kind of element. You people cannot choose name according to your convenience. We have to submit to a one organization called as IUPAC. IUPAC. So this is the international organization who will suggest the names, understand, for all the elements, all the compounds, whatever it is in chemistry. If you are discovering or inventing or manufacturing whatever it is, the names of the elements, names of the compounds, names of the molecules, everything will be suggested by IUPAC. So IUPAC is the organization who will give the modern symbols of the elements as well as compounds, everything. So what is the IUPAC? What is the full form of IUPAC? Anybody? Anyone? International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. Pure and Applied Chemistry. So this is the internationally accepted organization. After discovering anything, we have to submit to this organization. So this organization will correlate with all the things which is already existed and all, and the symbols and all, they should not be confusing. Same elements, the different elements should not get the same symbols and all. So that due to that confusion, some symbols they have been taken from Greek also, some they have taken from the Latin names also, and most of the elements they have taken from English names only. So these are the names we have chosen symbols for modern symbols for elements. So this is the organization or committee who will called IUPAC. It is there in our NCRT also, but none of you will read. That is why it is not known to us. Have you read any time? Anybody? Never, correct? Yes, guys, Harish. Now you can see. Have you read IUPAC? No, correct? That is why I will say, as you can see here. So notice it here. So in the beginning, names were derived from the names of the place where they will be found for the first time. Okay, for example, copper was taken from the Cyprus, because it has been, some names were taken from the specific color, some names taken from the place where they have been discovered, and some names they have been taken from the English names also. For example, if we take gold, gold was taken from the English word meaning called as yellow. So that is what I will say, Varam. What is the name of a symbol of gold and all? So it has been taken from the English word which is having a meaning. What is the meaning of that one? Gold symbol. Yellow color. That is why you can see gold always will be in yellow color. And nowadays, who is giving the names? You can see here, approves the names of the elements, symbols, and as well as units. Everything will be given by whom?
IUPAC.
IUPAC. You should read it as IUPAC, International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. Even general government exams and Olympiads and all, they will ask you what is full form of IUPAC. You have to remember that. So to name this, to approve these names of the elements, symbols, and as well as units, many of the symbols are first one letter or two letters of the elements, names from the English. But so many elements are getting with the same name. That is why some letters we are writing from the Greek letters, from the Latin names and Greek names also, always we are taking, because as it is, number of elements are increasing. Now if we take more than above 100 elements like uranium and all, they are representing with the three letters also. Why? Means number of elements are keep on increasing, so that the symbols with one letter or two letters, it is not possible to represent. So that is why they are representing with the three letters also. Now already it is started. In future, maybe the elements will be go to 500, 400. Then the number of, yes, the symbols also, it is difficult to remember. Is it SR now? Everybody? Yes. So now itself already 118 elements, difficult to remember. But of course, we can have some patterns so that we can remember. So that is why we are preferring symbols. Modern symbols of the elements is easiest method to learn. And always when we are writing the symbol, either most of the names, as I told you, taken from the English, will represent with the first letter or two letters. But always remember first letter. That is what rules for writing the symbols. If it is element is represented with the only one letter, suppose hydrogen. Hydrogen. What is the symbol of hydrogen? Anybody can tell? What is symbol of hydrogen? Everybody.
Hatches.
So first letter should be always capital. It is indicating the symbol of element. Symbol of element. Now, if you take oxygen, what is the symbol of oxygen? Everybody, first letter O, alphabet. Nitrogen. What is the nitrogen symbol? All of you, N. If you take carbon, what is the symbol of carbon? All of you, capital C. So the first letter always you have to remember it should be represented with the capital letter. If one letter is representing the element. Now, if two letters are representing the element, for example, calcium, calcium is represented C. Carbon is also represented with the C. Now, calcium also can I represent with the C? Is it possible? Anybody?
No, sir.
No. So that is why calcium is represented with the two letters. What is the first two letters here? A. So first letter is capital letter, but second letter I should not write capital. It is wrong. So always second letter is coming. It must be what, guys? It must be small letter.
Small.
What you have to remember. For example, if I say sodium, so sodium is taken from the Latin name called as natrium. Latin name called as, what is the name of sodium? Latin name? Natrium. So what is the symbol of sodium? Anybody? Arun Kailash, Mitakshri? Na. So what is the first letter? Arun, Aswin, first letter must be capital N and second letter must be small Na. So like that, so many things. Why can't we represent with N alone? If I represent sodium also with N, what will happen, guys? Anyone?
So nitrogen symbol is N.
Nitrogen is
So
all right. Now, why can't I represent with the S? Sodium means yes. Why can't I represent?
Sir, sulfur, sir.
Sulfur. Understanding? Sulfur symbol is yes. Now, for example, second letter also same. Then what we'll do? Anybody? For example, calcium and calcium if we'll take, we are taking A. Suppose some other element also second letter is also first two letters are same. Then what we'll do? We'll go with the third letter. Understanding? But anyhow, we'll represent with only two. That is what you have to remember. For example, mercury. So mercury, what is the symbol? Hydrogyrum. So that is what where the symbol is Hg. Mercury symbol is what? Hg. It is also Latin name. If we'll take copper, what is the copper symbol? COPPER, copper. So we should represent with the CO, but it is not because it is already coming for some kind of symbol. That is why we are going for the Latin name. So what is the Latin name of copper? Cuprous. Understanding? So symbol is Cu. Is it okay, everybody? Yes, please.
Sir, magnesium and manganese, sir.
Yes. Cuprum, not cuprous, cuprum. CUPRUM, cuprum. Now, if we'll take, for example, magnesium. So, if we'll take magnesium, what is happening? Magnesium. So, what is the symbol they are taking? Check it, everybody. First letter and as well as what letter they are taking? Third letter. So, first letter is capital, second letter is small. So that is what you have to remember. So for example, if you take manganese, what is the manganese symbol? Anybody?
Mn, sir.
What is symbol of manganese? First letter and third letter. So manganese, Mn. So like that, to make the confusion, they are choosing one letter or two letters, or if the same letters are repeating, they are taking from Latin or Greek, even Arabic symbols also there. So this is what is the modern symbols which has been taken So always you have to remember, and we are not representing with the same letters. For example, you have taken copper and cobalt. So why we are representing copper? You can see copper also CO, and cobalt. What is the cobalt symbol? COBOLT, cobalt. So what is the symbol of cobalt? Anybody can tell? Cobalt symbol.
CO, sir.
Capital C, capital O. Now, is it possible to write the copper also same CO? No, that is
No,
why
sir.
it is not possible. That is why we are taking what? Latin name. What is the Latin name of this one? Cuprum. And we are choosing the first two letters of that. That is what? Capital letter C and small letter U. So like that, if we take gold. So what is the symbol of gold basically? We should represent. Symbol of gold is what? Right? What is the gold? GOLD, gold. So I should represent with the capital G. Okay. But G is already given for some other element. What is that element given already? Gallium. Understanding? So that is why we cannot represent the gold with again G. So that is why they have taken the Latin name. So what is the Latin name of gold? Everybody? Aurum.
AU.
RUM. So that is in the first two names. That is what? AU. Okay. Suppose next Mercury also. So Mercury, you have to represent with the M, but M is so many times already coming. So that is why we are going with the what? A Latin name called as Hydragyrum. Very important. So many Tamil Nadu government exams also they ask you this question. What is the Latin name of Mercury? That is what you have to remember. So here, what is the symbol? Everybody see here. Not even first four letters. This all the symbols are not coming. What are the letters they are taking? H and G. Hydra, H, gyrum, G. What is the symbol? Hydrogen, mercury, Hydragyrum. That is what? Hg. So that is how the symbols has been taken. So very, very important, these modern symbols of the elements, and whatever it is, the Latin names also they will ask you in the exams. So we have to learn that Latin names also, what they have given in our book. So some elements will come: sodium, potassium, iron, okay, and copper, silver, gold, mercury, lead, tin, and antimony. So these are the well-known elements which the names are taken from the Latin words. So please kindly learn that Latin words. For example, if we take lead. So what is the lead symbol? Anybody can tell? Lead. Lead symbol.
PB, sir.
PB. So the name has been taken from plumbum. It is a Latin word. Is it okay, everyone? Yes, please. So it is given in our book also. So all of you should learn the symbols as well as with the Latin names. If you don't know the Latin names, please kindly note it and you have to learn. So Latin names, totally the elements I am saying. What is the elements you have to learn? In exam, they will ask you first sodium. Sodium you should learn. Next, you have to learn potassium. You should learn silver. Next, you should learn iron and copper. Where is iron? Iron, copper. Okay. Next, gold. Next hydrogen, iodine common. Iron again coming. Oh, sorry, fluorine not iron. Next, lead. Next, what is that? Tin. Tin is not here. You can learn the tin and as well as antimony. So these are the things you have to learn. The modern, Latin names also, because exam they will ask you sometime. So if you want any Latin name, you just ask me, I will say you. So first, sodium. Can you tell me what is the sodium Latin name, everybody? What is the sodium Latin name? Yes, please. Natrium. Okay. So that is why symbol is Na. Potassium. Yes, please. Sodium. If you want, you can learn. Sodium. Latin name is natrium. Natrium. Symbol is Na. Same way next. Potassium. So potassium, we are not representing with a P. We are representing with a Latin name called as Kalium, which is symbol is capital K. Next, iron. So iron, we are not representing with I, because I is the symbol given for whom, guys? I is the symbol given
Iodine.
for iodine. So that is why it has been taken from Latin name called as ferrum. The symbol is Fe. Same way next copper. We have taken copper. So copper is cuprum. Symbol is Cu. Same way silver. Silver is argentum. Silver. What is the symbol of silver? Anyone? Argentum. Okay. So that is what we are. Next. Gold. If I have taken gold is well known to us. That is what Aram. So the symbol is AU. Next mercury I already told you. Next lead also over. Now tin. Lead and mercury you have to write. Tin is stannum. That is why the symbol is SN. Same way antimony, stibium. The symbol is SB. So mercury, what is the mercury symbol? Lead symbol. What is the lead symbol? Up already I have written. Lead symbol is what? Everybody, plumbum. That is why PB. And same way mercury symbol, hydrogyrum. That is why Hg. So these are the symbols of English names, but the symbols is taken from the Latin name. That is what you have to remember. Is it okay, everybody? Clear? So all of you should learn all the symbols, at least certain, like at least 20 elements. Everybody should know what is the symbols and what is their importance. So with the symbols only, we identify the given element. So that is why the symbol is a very important, as it is using representing the chemical formula and the chemical equation. So most important thing is this symbol. Without knowing the symbol of an element, we people cannot do any kind of things in the further classes. So we have to be very, very careful when we are doing this, writing the symbols. First letter always must be capital letter, and if the second letter is coming, if no second letter, no problem. But if the second letter is coming, it must be what, guys? It must be small letters. So that is what you have to remember it. So please, all of you write it till here. Anybody is having any doubt? Please let me know. Completed, guys? Yes? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, all the names I have written. These are all the Latin names as well as the symbols you have to learn. Okay, everybody? So this is what you have to learn for today's class. Then the next one we are going to study is how do atoms exist? Is this atoms are existed and how these atoms are existed and what is the mass and all we are going to study in our this continuing class. So right now, how do atoms exist? How do atoms exist? How do atoms exist? So now you tell me